Good morning, evening, afternoon, etc., fellow Devil Fruit users. Logan Master 666 here with another review, this time, of course, being of Naruto Chapter 649, entitled The Will of the Shinobi. Now, let me say two things. First, that I've been up pretty much the entire night. I've been awake for something like 29 hours. I was staying up because I was like, you know what, hey, 6 in the morning is when the chapters are probably going to show up. No, not at all. They take forever, and I end up getting an average at best Naruto chapter. So I'm going to go ahead and get Naruto out of the way. There are some interesting things that happen in this chapter, but overall, I'm going to just let you know now, this chapter was not that particularly interesting. It was set up at best, really. Not a lot happened. King of Lightning, for example, was saying the manga was moving at a snail's pace. Yeah, this chapter was very much like last chapter. The only difference is that it's more on the five Kages in Naruto as opposed to, say, Hashirama and the previous five Kage from before. So it's interesting that this chapter sort of ties in that whole previous generation thing, which Tsunade also mentioned. So it starts off in the five Kages monologue and talk about, yeah, we're going to kick Obito and Madora's ass, etc. And a few things interesting in this happen in this chapter. First, we have, I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way. My favorite thing about this chapter, honestly, was Kakashis Return of sorts. And he appears to be stitching his wound up from the previous injuries. And I guess he's going to appear sooner or later. I had this theory that the reason why he wasn't showing up for the longest time was that basically he was going to show up out of nowhere with super long hair. Not like DBZ Goku Super Saiyan 3 long hair, but below shoulder length hair, and he's gonna be super badass, and he's gonna just like demolish Obito or just put up a decent fight, and it's gonna be something like, oh, I've been training for all these years, and it was basically like a Dongai hyperbolic time chamber scenario. That was a theory I had anyway. I know it sounds ludicrous, but whatever. I thought it would be funny. So we get to see Kakashi finally come back. He was starting to be like Sarutobi, where he just disappeared for a while, but hey. Another thing that we get interesting about this chapter particularly is about Shikamaru, and at first I considered the possibility he was going to die because of all the attention he was getting. I remember saying before that basically they're not going to show any more information about this and he's just going to survive. But the fact that he showed back up and started monologuing about, you know, Naruto gave him the idea that maybe he'd pass away. But then once he got to the point where he was saying that he wants to be the advisor for Naruto, that's when I knew he was going to live. And that's really insightful for two things. One is that Shikamaru for sure won't be Hokage, even though realistically he would make a better Hokage in the real world anyway than Naruto. And it sort of double confirms, even though we know it's fucking obvious, that that Naruto's going to be the Hokage. I mean, it's like saying Ash Ketchum's not going to catch them all, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Naruto's going to become Hokage. How fucking obvious is that? So, it's establishing in that, and that Shikamaru will basically be his he'll be, if Naruto was like Tsunade, Shikamaru would be like his Shizune. I know that's not a very pleasant thought, but just bear with me here. So Sonata shows up and pats Sakura on the head and whatever, I guess. And she basically talks to her grandfather, Hashirama, for the first time in forever. And basically, Hashirama is not happy about how the problems he had to deal with and he created to an extent were being passed on the previous generations. But Tsunade basically retorts that it's because of these hardships that her generation was able to learn from their mistakes and basically be able to triumph over, which is essentially what the chapter is sort of about. Anyway, basically the rest of the chapter is just monologues from various people, saying, thanks Sakura, keep it going, oh Shikamaru, you should be my right-hand man, I'm going to be Hokage, which kind of reminds me of part 1, which is one of the really only good things about this chapter is it's a nostalgia fest, but you can tell Kishi's stalling, and that's not good. When your manga's coming close to the end, especially when you're stalling, that's a problem. That's telling me that you're trying to make as much money as you can, and that's not good. It's not like he needs it. I mean, I don't know the status of what mangaka get as far as money, but I'm guessing he's a millionaire or damn close to it. He'll never have to work a day in his fucking life once he finishes, so don't really know how it's going to work out, but yeah, that's majority of the end of the chapter. Kakashi came back. That was awesome. Guy, Lee, Tenten, they're blah blah, will avenge Neji, etc. This was basically just a chapter to sort of prepare things. So that's all for my review. I'm not sure what to rate this chapter. I'm still deciding how I'm going to rate things. But if I had to rate this on a scale of 1 through, I'm just going to go ahead and say 1 through 5, I would give this like a 2.5 to 3 tops. The good points, yeah, I know I'm going for Zero Song. Good points being, of course, the Kakashi Return, and that it was reminiscent of Part 1. Bad points would be the slow pacing of not just this chapter, but as the way it's moving as a whole, and also particularly the other characters getting. It was kind of not bad that they got additional screen time, but really, it just felt like stalling to me. Anyway, that's all for my review. Bleach will be up next. Logia Master 666 out. I'll see you guys next time.